The law of action. A. When you accompany your desire with inspired action, you align yourself with the vibrational frequency of that which you desire and close the gap between your mental image or intention and its physical realization, thereby manifesting sooner, because the power of attraction is compounded by combining two or more, whether it be desire and feeling or vibration and action. Okay? Two or more. The power of agreement. That's what we're talking about. B. Take the action you're led to take. Okay? And the right results will follow every single time, whether they be good results or bad results. You cannot be moved by something manifesting that's bad. If it's out of your control, then it was intended by a power greater than you, which is your master. And if you cannot control it, then it is intended to train you, or it's intended to train. It's for some purpose if you cannot control it. Okay? So, let me say that again. Take the action you're led to take, and the right results will follow, whether they be good or bad. Number 1, truth supersedes good and evil. We need to understand this, man. And you need to hear it and grab it for what it is as truth, because it ain't never going to change. Truth supersedes good and bad. Think about that. Truth is a higher authority than what it can be deemed as good and what can be deemed as bad. Let me say it like this. If something can be deemed as bad or evil, then truth still supersedes it. My point is this. In the Garden of Eden, before I say it, if I can even remember it after I say this, but in the Garden of Eden, you had two trees. The tree of life and the tree of what? The knowledge of what? Good and evil. So, good was with evil. Life was all by itself. We have been restored to life, not to good and evil. We have been delivered from the knowledge of good and evil and restored unto the knowledge of life. Number 2, number 1, truth supersedes good and evil. This is why faith must be present and is vital to the process. Faith is vital to the process because you must believe that you are operating according to a way that's higher than anything that can be judged as good or bad. The only way, letter C, the only way to be assured that your guidance is inspired is by understanding your feelings, being aware of how you're feeling about what you're considering or doing. Okay, your feelings, man. We are taught and conditioned over so many years to discredit and neglect our emotions. Talking as, Christians. I'm not a Christian. I don't consider myself a Christian. I consider myself a believer and a disciple of Christ or Messiah. Okay, I'm not a Christian. I'm not even going to get on that. But the only way to be assured that your guidance is inspired is by understanding your emotions, being aware of how you're feeling about what you're considering to do or are doing or saying or think, anything that you can actively engage your being in. Take note of how you're feeling, and that will determine which way you're going. Okay? And if it's not the correct emotion, then you need to adjust your thinking. All right. D, if it feels good and you're full when doing it, then it's inspired action. Do it. If it feels good and you're full when doing it, because see, it can feel good and still leave you empty. Okay, you got to know that. Just because it feels good doesn't mean it's an inspired action for you. Okay, if it feels good and it leaves you empty, it's not an inspired action. If it feels good and you're full when you're doing it, mean completely satisfied, just something about you could do it 24/7 and never get tired, then it's inspired action. Okay, you're on the right track. Do it. E, if it feels heavy, confusing, unfulfilling, or you feel like procrastinating, then don't do it. Okay? Wait until you're absolutely convinced of the way you should take. Don't do it because it looks right. Don't do it because it is good. Okay? Because we operate according to a higher authority than good and evil. So just because it's good doesn't mean you should be doing it. If it's anything then pleasurable and fulfilling, you have to have them both. If it's anything other than that, then don't do it. But if it covers pleasure and fulfillment, okay, then that's God, I promise. F, first step in putting your intention out there and holding it there. Oh, the first step is intending to do something. Now, intending is more than intention. Intention is the seed. When you read the scriptures and it talks about the sower went forth to sow seed, okay? Your intention is your seed. Is the seed. Your intentions are the seeds that have already been planted in your garden. Your garden is your heart. Remember we talked about knowing what you genuinely desire, not what you've been conditioned to want. What you would genuinely desire and make you happy and fulfilled. That intention encapsulates everything. Okay? Just like a seed encapsulates everything that is needed for that seed to become what it was intended to become. But you have to plant it in the ground, good soil, and you have to maintain the necessary conditions for it to begin to germinate. Then all you can do is wait for the germination process to complete. And once it begins to sprout, I mean, just the very little first inkling of it breaking through the soil, from that point on, the light takes over. But you still must condition and nurture the conditions of that seed. Okay? All right. Or that plant now, the soil that it's planted in. And I'll get into seeds and the whole thing because it's very profound. G. No, I'm not there. I'm not done. Stay awake. F. Stay awake, and when when an idea or opportunity comes, move with it. See, that's that inspired action. That's what that is. The first step is putting or planting your seed, putting your intention out there. And I'll explain intentions more. And you got to hold it there. That's maintaining the necessary conditions. How you hold your intention out there is resonating with it, as I've already, kind of briefly explained. You got to stay awake. Always be cognitive. Always be aware, vigilant, as the scriptures put it. And when an idea or opportunity, the opportunity deals with having your senses exercised to discern physical reality. whether it be good or evil. Okay? Because as you're intending and as you're meditating and as you're doing what you need to do in spirit, things will begin to move. But you have to be able to perceive them when they do. Hence, when an idea or an opportunity comes or arises, you need to move with it. Inspired action. G, don't take radical actions that will bring you into a lower vibrational state such as doubt, fear, anger, or frustration. Okay? A lot of us, I'm very good at this. I can get a whiff, a smell of something a smell of something, right? And I'm off to the races. And I have to, I can't tell you how many times I've let things just fall and lie right there. Okay? And never return to them. All because I took radical actions and it wasn't, they weren't inspired actions. They were just whimsical actions. You know what I'm saying? Like we always do, but because it's good, we think we should do it. I had to learn that I only need to take inspired actions. Then I had to learn, okay, when am I being inspired to act? You know, all that's a learning process. And that gets into the vibration, the sound of this teaching, knowing the voice and things like that. So don't take radical actions, okay? Don't do that. And just don't do it. Don't do it unless it's inspired. It's better not to act than to act foolishly. H, development is gradual. Oh, this was a hard one for me. Development is gradual. Just like when you plant a seed, it develops gradually. That's God's wisdom in spiritual things exemplified in nature. I'm telling you. And this gradual, H, development is gradual, deals with the law of gender. Everything takes time, nurturing, and nourishment to grow. Okay, development is gradual. Just look at a baby when it's born, and we can take the whole process, the conception, the time to germinate and grow in the woman's womb, and then it's brought forth. The process does not change. It's all through nature, and it applies to spirit. But development is gradual. Literally, you graduate from one stage of development to the next. And at this point, I can go to the atom and how it operates with the neutrons and the protons and how the neutrons go around the nucleus. And there's 3 stages, and it wants to remain grounded, and it has to have the exact right of energy to jump up to the next level. That's the only way. Okay? That's the only way. You can only move from one stage to the next gradually. Spirit development happens naturally. It does. Again, it's just like you can't make a child grow. You can't make a plant grow. You can't make a tree increase. Jesus even said by worrying, you can't add 1 cubit to how tall you are. You see what I'm saying? So it happens naturally. Just like a planted seed, you can't rush the process. Okay, your role in the process is to create and keep the necessary conditions needed for your seed to germinate. Number 1, anything that threatens the atmosphere of your seed anything that threatens the atmosphere that your seed needs to germinate must be removed or brought into obedience to that atmosphere that is needed. 2, allowing threats to alter your seed's intentions. Allowing threats to alter your seed's atmosphere is to allow the enemy to steal, kill, and destroy that seed. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Listen. Anything that threatens the atmosphere that your seed needs must be removed. Say it one more time. Anything that threatens the atmosphere that your seed needs must be removed. Number 2, allowing threats to alter your seed's atmosphere is to allow the enemy to steal, kill, and destroy that seed. Number 3, your seed cannot germinate without the needed atmosphere. Just reiterating the same thing but saying it differently. Number 4, the enemy's intention is to prevent germination of the seeds of truth. Number 5, compare the darkness, comprehended it not. In other words, you got it. Well, you don't. So let me say it. The darkness comprehended it not in John chapter 1 simply says that darkness did not overcome it. Okay, now, darkness is ignorance, lack of knowledge, you don't know. Okay. You cannot let nothing stop what you know. It's really simple. You know what I'm saying? It's just that what it is. Don't let the darkness prevent it. If it's even at all possible. And it's not. It's not. Because it's been intended from the foundation of the world. What that scripture in John is really referring to is the ones that wanted to stop the truth from manifesting couldn't do it. That's really what it's saying. But my point in using it is darkness threatens the seed. Keep it away. J, you must put in the work to clearly define your desire. Write it down. That's scripture. That's scripture. And at this point in my life, I am not doing as well as I should. But I am writing stuff down. You know, I am. I have this teaching written down. I'm reading from it right now. And I have other stuff written down. And I've always written things down, but I have not done a quote unquote business plan specific to the, I haven't done that. What I have done is I've taken note of what is in my garden as I become aware of it. Because it's those things that I must give attention to. Because it's those things that will either cause me to hear well done or depart from me. Where am I at? Okay. K, only allow or attend to what you desire and remove or turn your attention away from whatever manifests that doesn't agree. All right? Only give your attention to what you desire. That genuine desire. We're not talking about any old thing if you want to do it right. We're talking about what God planted in the garden that he put you in. Actually, yeah. So only attend to what he has committed to you. Now, you may think you know what it is, and that's good and great and wonderful. But remember, it's not good that you need to be doing. You need to be doing life, truth. The two trees, keep in mind, we're not doing good. We're operating according to life and truth. Okay? So just because it's good doesn't mean you need to be doing it. Okay? So only attend to what you genuinely have been given to want to do by God. Okay? And remove and turn your attention away from whatever manifests that does not line up with that. Okay? Okay. Number 1, you must maintain the necessary atmosphere condition that your seed needs to germinate. L, your creation process always starts in the mind. That's step 1. That's ground zero. I've been hearing it for many years, for a very long time. The battlefield of the mind, stuff like that. It's in the mind. Okay. But without inspired action, your desires will never spring forth or manifest. Number 1, action comes from faith. You can't do nothing if you don't believe. Think about it. You only do what you believe. Number 2, learn to only take inspired action. Man, it's very, very powerful. But it's very, very simple. But it's very, very powerful. M. Reaching your various objectives via your inspired actions can be challenging, but should come with minimal effort. Reaching your various objectives via your inspired actions can be challenging, but should come with minimal effort. Why? Because it's really not your power bringing them to pass. Everything has already been laid out. Everything has already been set forth. Everything has already been prepared. You are just simply walking it out. Number one, you can compare what Jesus said, the yoke is easy and his burden is light. It can be challenging, but it's easy. You see what I'm saying? It's light. Okay.